Okay, you guys, we are going to talk about our home studio. So the first thing I have is the tar paper. Now I did have to roll it up to send it home with you, and we need both of our drawing paper and our tar paper to lay flat. So what I'm going to do, there's no good camera angle for this, but I am going to take this and I'm going to take it on the edge of the table and pull it down. So any table, it shouldn't leave a mark on your table or edge of a dresser or something. I'm just pulling it across the edge to give it new memory. And I maybe want to do that a couple times, but you can see now it lays flat and I can just flip it over. Doesn't matter what side you work on. This tar paper is strong. You know, you can take it and clean it off if it looks a little dirty to you. And then you should do the same thing with your paper. So I'm going to take my paper and put it on the edge of the table, dresser, whatever you have, and pull it down like this. The paper we're not going to use right away, so you also could lay it, but that worked pretty well. So you also could lay it and put books on it if you want to, but now I have 3 pieces of drawing paper. If you feel like you don't have a place for this large piece, you could fold them in half and make a sketchbook, but I think I'm going to leave mine open and draw kind of around the piece of paper. All right, so now I have my tar paper. So now let's look at the tools that I've given you. We have a bag. You can take that bag, just fold it up and set it to the side. We have a sponge, and the sponge should have 2 pins in it. If it doesn't have 2 pins in it, that means you have a couple pins in there that you maybe should just take out and set in your sponge. We have sandpaper, which you will need. A little container with a lid for slip. So we're going to be making our own slip, so set that aside. We have a string, which is actually deep sea fishing line. And so when you need to use a wire, you're just going to wrap it around your fingers, like you're going to floss your teeth, and you're going to use it to cut through the clay or cut things in. And you know, it's easy to lose, but it is really strong, so set that aside. I gave you 3 popsicle sticks. We have a plastic credit card, which is really important for slab building. And then be careful with this. This can have sharp little edges on it. You actually can tape around those edges if you want to, but that's a real nice scoring tool. We have a couple ways to score, but I did cut up one of those. That is something that was a little more expensive. We have a spork, because you could use this side for a knife, you can use this side for smoothing, you can use this side for texture or scoring if that isn't working for you. We have a tongue depressor for larger marks. These I was pretty happy with, actually. They're skewers for fruit and stuff. So I bought them from a food store, but they're really strong and they'll be great for carving and cleanup. We have a pencil. I finally am smart enough to know that if you order pencils, you should order them sharpened, which was awesome. I did not send a pencil sharpener home. I actually tend to use just a whittling knife to sharpen it, but hopefully you have a way to sharpen the pencil. You should have 2 paper clips for when we make a loop tool, and then you should have 2 toothpicks. This one I've already made the tool. So what I want you to do with the pin, and you know, sometimes I give you 2 of something because you might lose one of them. But these pins can poke you. So what I'm going to do with the pin is just make a real small needle tool. I did not send tape home. So if you don't have tape, you won't make one of these. But if you do have tape, my favorite is electrical tape because it stretches a little bit. But you're going to take that pin and put it on the top and then tape around it. Just keep wrapping it around. You know, that electrical tape, you can pull a little more and it creates this tight seal. I'm just using the cheap blue painter's tape. Scotch tape would work, any kind of tape. So you may have to wrap it around, push it in, but that's a pretty strong needle tool now. So I actually really like this for cutting on slabs of clay. Okay, what do you do with your tools? How do you set this all up? You need to get some sort of can, soup can, Tupperware container, and that is a great spot to put your tools in. Everything can go in there. Now the needle tools sometimes I keep separately because you don't want to jab your hand in there and get them. So sometimes the needle tools I'll put into my sponge like this when I'm not using my sponge, or I'll put them into some form of box. And these smaller tools also, you know, for now they can go into here. We're going to be using these for slip, but if you like to keep things organized, you can just put them in there like that. Okay, so what do I do with this? So if you don't have a place to work, or you feel like you're going to have to move stuff around, I would try to find some sort of box. So I have a shoe box here. I have clay boxes. I certainly can put them out for you. The boxes that clay come in, they're a little bigger than this, but they're great. I often take classes at Northern Clay Center in Minneapolis, and so I have to transport stuff. And so I call it my car studio. I'll take a couple clay boxes and put whatever I need in there, and then it's portable. I can put it in my car, I can move it around. This actually would be fine to stack paper around here and be able to transport your projects. So if you're between houses, or you're 1 week at one house, 1 week at another house, this is a great way to transport it. You can even lay down your tin, crumple a piece of paper, put your clay project there, and then you have a nice portable studio. The clay itself, I'm going to set that aside. Everything in there, even your bag and your rubber band, you should put in there as well. If you don't have a box, maybe you have a place to work. You also could put stuff back into your bag. I just like the can because they're easier to get at. And now I'll fold this bag. I might use that. And so now I have my clay. So this clay, this plastic is high density plastic. It's designed not to let the moisture out. And so it should be good in here. Now I wrapped it a couple times and tied it over the top, but you can tell that it's still pretty soft. And I didn't even notice, but a lot of people used it as like a handle, which was great. So set that aside, make sure it's not in the sun, by the heat. A good place to store stuff under your bed. You know, you have everything ready to go. And then this mat, I do think, you know, if you have to cut it smaller, you can. But this size will be really nice for when we're rolling slabs. And I don't really want creases in it. So you certainly could roll it back up and put a rubber band around it if you have to travel. And then do the same thing, rub it on the edge of the table. So now, what I want you to do, your assignment for today is to make your needle tool and set up your studio. Take a picture of your home studio. So where are you going to work, and what is that going to look like? Snap a picture and post it in Google Classroom for the assignment. I think it's worth 10 points. All right, and as always, let me know if you have questions. Can you work outside? Yes, you can until it gets cold. Can your clay sit in the sun? Nah, not such a good idea. Can it sit under a chair? Sure it can. Can it be in a closet? Sure. And then you can bring it out when you need it. So these kind of things I will talk about, and we also went over the document Working in Clay at Home. So make sure you read through that, and you know that has things in it about cleanup, and I did provide you with a sponge and all of that. All right, good luck, have fun. Okay, I didn't show that well about how to unroll your tar paper. So you're going to take the curve, and you're going to take this end here and put it over a table and just slowly kind of pull down with force. You know, you can go back and forth, but that's just going to give that paper new memory. And now I have a flat piece of paper to work on. And you can also do the same thing with the paper. So your paper comes rolled up like this, right? It's been in a roll for a while. So you're gonna take it like this, be careful not to tear it. And you're just gonna gently roll it over the side of the paper. You can go back again if you want to. And now I have paper that doesn't roll. All right, sorry I didn't show that better.